By now, you've probably heard my magic wand story. It's a brand that's been part of my personal journey for more than 20 years. But no matter how many times I sing Magic Wand's praises, I'll never be able to fully capture the story of this incredible brand. Well, now journalist and author Kate Sloan just completed a limited audio series documenting the history and impact that Magic Wand has created over the last 56 years. It's called Making Magic. And the series chronicles Magic Wand's incredible brand story through interviews with nearly 40 experts, performers, business owners, educators, and fans. So I got a sneak preview of the series, and what I loved is that Kate weaves together snippets from all their interviews into this amazing story arc. She covers Magic Wand's journey from appliance store massager to its legendary influence on culture and sexual independence, and it's all just fascinating. The first episodes of Making Magic are available now at makingmagicseries.com or on all popular podcast platforms. Just search for Making Magic or visit makingmagicseries.com today. Listen, if sex was contingent on orgasms, most women would be virgins right now.
I'm pushing the limits to see if she's able to squirt. Is that something that every woman can do? Is that something that I should be pursuing with her?
You're listening to Sex with Emily. I'm Dr. Emily, and I'm here to help you prioritize your pleasure and liberate the conversation around sex. On today's show, I'm taking your calls and answering all sorts of questions about positions for plus-size lovers, getting over your cheating ex, squirting, and what penis owners can do if they're struggling to reach orgasm. All this and more. Thanks for listening.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
All right, guys, this is our bonus show this week. So I thought I'm going to put together a compilation of a lot of the calls I had this week and give you a variety. Keep you on your toes, right? People want to know how you get through cheating, is squirting a thing. God, we get so many calls about squirting. I swear to God, I didn't get this many until about 5 years ago. I'm thinking it's porn. That's cool, but I get why you're asking, so we get into that. Also, we talk about penis owners who just aren't able to orgasm through penetration. Another question I get asked a lot. And what I find is when those penis owners are with vulva owners, vulva owners tend to blame ourselves. Like, oh, a penis is malfunctioning. It must be my fault. They didn't get erect, or they don't stay hard, or they can't ejaculate. I'm not hot enough. I'm not doing things right. But we're going to dispel all those myths because just know that you don't know. No one told you this stuff. We assume we did something wrong. We'll get into that. And we cover a lot on the show. I always love hearing from everybody. And also, you guys follow us on all social media. It is Sex with Emily on all platforms. Your question can be sent to feedback@sexwithemily.com. And stay tuned. I have a big announcement coming on November 19th. I can't wait to share it with you. Let's do this. Enjoy the show. We have to talk to Denise, 40 in British Columbia, because she's been holding and has an awesome question. Hi, Denise. Thanks for calling.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm pulling over the truck. We were wine touring, and some discussion
Perfect
came up on our trip.
Okay.
Right?
Right. I love wine tasting. It's the best. Yeah.
Well,
Go
you
ahead.
need to come to British Columbia.
Yes, I do. It's on my list. I've never been. Go ahead. Tell me everything.
So during our little trip, the girls are together, and we're discussing blowjobs. If you put your mouth on the penis, sorry, just a little shy here, and then have sex, is it still considered a blowjob, or do you have to do it to completion?
I'm confused. Wait, if you put your mouth on a penis, is it considered a blowjob? Yeah. I mean, a mouth on a penis would be a blowjob? Yes.
Even if he doesn't finish?
Yeah. I don't think it's contingent on orgasms. Listen, if sex was contingent on orgasms, most women would be virgins right now because they're not having orgasms during sex. So I would say that, yeah, blowjob is a blowjob is a blowjob.
The question came up because we all had different opinions. So the next question is the flavor of the semen.
The semen, yep.
Is that going to be affected by what they eat?
You know what? it is affected by what you eat. You know, they say you are what you eat. And I think that if you have a diet filled with, you know, soda and burgers and fries and meat and fatty foods and all the things all the time, it's going to leak out of your pores. And then you definitely will taste it in the semen. If you have an unhealthy diet, smoke cigarettes, an unhealthy lifestyle, it won't be the best tasting semen you ever had. I'll tell you that.
Okay. How about pineapple?
You know, there's the whole pineapple thing. You'd have to eat a lot of pineapple to make sure to have your semen taste like pineapple, but it can have an impact. Sure. I mean, I'm not going to say that like you start downing pineapple if you've been eating like crap all week and then you're like, but I just had a few bites of pineapple. It doesn't work like that. It takes a while to get into your system. But sure, if you eat more healthy fruits and vegetables, your semen's going to taste better than if you're just having, you know, steak and fries.
I feel like my husband's been eating pineapple since I left.
Oh, well, you tell me then, Denise, when you're going back and call me. Okay, I mean, really, yeah, I'm telling you, I think it does have an impact, but I don't think it's like an immediate thing. But I don't know how long you've been gone. And if is he on a pineapple diet only? I mean,
4 days.
Only pineapple?
No.
Okay.
He needs a swine apple.
Swine apple?
A pineapple stuffed with pork, wrapped in bacon.
No, that would not taste good. That would cancel everything out.
Perfect.
Thanks, Denise.
One more question.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know Dr. Teresa Tam from the Canadian Health Advisor in Canada?
I do not.
Have you heard of her?
Nope, I have not.
Well, during these times, she has suggested that safe sex between partners that are new to each other, they should look for a glory hole, using a glory hole, so some sort of barrier between them. Have you heard of this?
The CDC, yeah, they said the CDC said it here too. Center for Disease Control recommended that you could have sex with some kind of barrier, and that could be a glory hole, which I thought at first, am I reading this correctly? Like, where are people going to find glory holes? Are they really going to do it? I pictured it more like it's typically been a thing in the gay community where, you know, they can put their, you know, penis through a hole in the wall, you know, that's large enough for a penis to slip through. But they can limit physical contact during intercourse. So it's a thing. It's COVID. Yeah.
Right? So do you think like we're sitting on $1 million invention of like a shower curtain built-in condom so you can still kind of hug each other?
Maybe, sure. I mean, if they're already taking a shower together, I think getting people to say, well, this is our barrier because we're really afraid of catching a disease might, you know, they might not use it for that. But sure, there you go. Go crazy. Go make it. I think that we're going to be seeing a lot of innovation right now. But if you are with somebody and you're afraid to actually have sex with them, because they're also saying we shouldn't be kissing right now. You can have sex, but you should wear a mask. You should wear condoms and avoid touching each other. You got to avoid face-to-face contact. So yeah, cut away. Get one of those cheap shower curtains and see how it goes.
All right.
All right, Denise. Sounds like you're having a good time. You're welcome. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it. Oh, Denise, that is a good time. It makes me want to be out with my girlfriends having a glass of wine. Blowjobs always come up. Sex always comes up, as you can imagine. Let's talk to a woman who would like to remain anonymous. She's 38 years old.
Hello.
Hi. How you doing? How can I help you?
Hi. I am dating someone who has been alone his whole life. He's 49 years old, and he has never been with a woman before. And I'm his first person that he's been with, and he is not able to ejaculate while we are having sex. And it's making me feel bad about myself, you know.
Totally understand that.
I'm just
so your partner's ability,
he tells me that it's just because he's used to doing it himself, you know.
It's true. Yeah, especially at 49. He's been masturbating for a long time, and he's been doing it one way.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do. I'm just telling you this, that our partner's arousal level, if your partner has erection or doesn't have erection, if they have an orgasm, don't have an orgasm, it's typically has nothing to do with their female partner. Or even with women sometimes, like our arousal level, like we could be really turned on but not be wet. So anyway, I think that actually, especially because he's 49, I mean, I see this with a lot of younger people as well, that are, you know, new to sex with a partner, that if you are the only way you've orgasmed for, God knows, let's say 40 years, I don't know how long he's been masturbating, let's say 5 years, has been with his hand, in one position and one way.
Yeah.
When he starts having
Yeah.
sex in a vagina, it's a completely different experience. So it's really about muscle memory. A lot of this is like how we actually have orgasms or how we experience pleasure, what gets us off. We typically have to mimic things that we're used to, right? We have to mimic our hand or our vagina. So maybe when he's inside of you, you could also take your hand and maybe guide it in and out, like kind of grip it at the base, move it up and down as he's going in and out. He could, I mean, does it feel good? Does the sex feel good to you?
It does to me, and he says it does to him too, yes, but I don't know.
Well,
it's like
it doesn't have to, listen to me. So many women were like, oh, my partner can't stay hard or they can't, they can't come. And I'm telling you 99.9% of the time that men are having challenges around erection or ejaculation have nothing to do with their partner. It has to do with them watching porn. Perhaps has to do with sexual trauma. It has to do with their conditioning and their wiring. But I'm certain that he is having sex with you and that's all he can think about. And he's attracted to you and he's been waiting 49 years for this moment. He just doesn't have the training down yet. So I'm telling you, it's not you. I know this, and I'm not even there.
That makes me feel better.
Oh, good. That's why I'm here.
Maybe it's me, I'm like,
no,
what am I
it's not
doing?
you.
But
I wouldn't put pressure on him either because also what happens is, and I before I knew I would do that as well. I'd be like, oh, you're not attracted to me. But then that makes them feel bad because it's so not true, right? I mean, they're so attracted to you. And then that makes them feel worse, but then they get anxious and worried, and that makes it even worse. So if you can just be chill and say, I get it. It's okay. You'll come when you're ready and don't, apply additional pressure. Because I've told you the truth here. I'm telling you, I know.
Yeah.
He might be more likely to come once he relaxes into it. But if this is an additional layer, like, and now she thinks I don't even like her, then we've got other problems.
Yeah.
All right. So just enjoy it. Have a good time.
Okay.
Get your needs met. All right.
Okay.
Thanks for calling. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye. You guys, listen, that is such an easy thing to happen and common that we are so concerned that our partner isn't responding to us in the way that we think they should, that it's confusing, and then we automatically blame ourselves and think we're doing something wrong. I tend to hear this from women more than men, but I know that when men do it as well. But women already start from a place of like, sex is performative and what can I do to get my partner off? And it's all about the men's orgasm and not my orgasm. And it must be because I gained weight or I don't look good. I'm doing something wrong. It must be me why he can't ejaculate. And I get it. That chain of thinking makes sense. But if we're talking about medically speaking, physiologically speaking, just not the truth. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. There'll be more Sex with Emily. Thanks to everyone for supporting our sponsors. We only work with sponsors that we enjoy ourselves, and I hope you do too. Let's talk to Chris, 18 in Florida.
Hey.
What's going on, Chris? Hi. What's going on?
Yeah, my girlfriend, used to really be into me. And now, my friend figured out she's cheating on me. So I don't know what to do.
Chris, I'm sorry. How long have you guys been together?
About 5 months. And now she's starting to cheat. And my friend figured it out and told me.
Well, that is so hurtful. And I'm sorry that happened. And I know, is this your first girlfriend or your first love?
Second.
Yeah, it hurts, huh? Have you,
But it hurts even more than the first,
Yeah, that's the thing. They always hurt more each time, You think I can't be hurt and then it hurts. Yeah. Well, so you guys had an agreement that you guys were committed and you were monogamous, just the two of you?
Yeah, we were going straight for about 2 months, and then just recently, I figured out that she was cheating. I don't know how long she's been cheating, but I just figured out, and it just hurts. I was crying all morning. And,
Chris, it is. It's the most. It hurts so bad when somebody violates our trust, right? When we're like, this is someone I really was open and vulnerable, and it just hurts. And are you going to talk to her? Are you going to let her know how you feel?
Yeah, probably. I'm a musician, so I write songs about these things to get over it. So that's probably what I'm going to do.
Yeah, Chris, what I would recommend, I mean, I think right now, like, you're hurt and you're angry and you just found out and you're going to continue to, you will get through this. I just want you to know when it feels like you won't, like, I promise you, like, you learn from this stuff and it'll get easier.
Yeah.
But I think it's good that you were crying and that you're feeling it and that you called me, because that's actually the healthiest ways to actually feel your feelings, which isn't fun, but it's the quickest way. And there's nothing really that I can tell you to do. I mean, what I would recommend, honestly, Chris, which might be hard, is I would talk to her and just say, and just let her know, say, this is what I heard. I wanted to talk to you. And I would try to do it in the most calming way you can and just be like, I'm disappointed. I heard that you were with someone else. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah.
And then see what she says. Because you're also like, I know it doesn't help. Because when I was 18, you'd be like, you're only 18. I'd be like, fuck you, mom. Like, but like, there's just going to be these things. This is going to be a great learning experience for you. Maybe in your next relationships, you'll be able to talk about like how this felt and that that it's important to be committed. And that if they want to see someone, they should tell you first. That's how I feel about cheating. Because, I used to be a cheater, Chris.
Yeah. When I was 17, I dated this girl that was in Colorado at my high school, and I fucked up and I cheated on her, and she just blew me off. She didn't even give me another chance when I tried so hard, and I know how it feels. So,
do you remember why you cheated?
Yeah, basically all I didn't really do much. It was just over Snapchat with another girl, and then she got pissed off, and
yeah, and then you're like, oh, what'd I do? And like, that's how you learn. Like, yeah, it didn't feel good to me either. I think what happened to me was I didn't know how to tell the guy, like, I didn't know that relationships took work, and that actually, like, I was like, oh, this other guy likes me and that feels really good for my ego. And then I'll go sleep with this other guy. And then I was like, oh, I actually did like my boyfriend. Like, I've learned now, it took me years to learn, like, oh, actually you could talk to your partner before you cheat and say, oh, you know what? I've been feeling a little weird lately. And like, maybe you're not that into me or whatever. And then I didn't cheat anymore, but it's like, we kind of fuck up and we do it and then we learn. So you know that you did it and she's doing it, and like, this is going to hurt right now, but I think you could also learn some really cool lessons about yourself and what's important and communicating. I recommend that you keep feeling your feelings. I wouldn't do anything drastic. Like, sometimes you want to write a hateful email like I just got from a listener. Sometimes you want to do something that you might regret, but it's best just to kind of feel the feelings, be with your friends that actually are cool and support this kind of thing, not the ones who are like, she's an asshole, go fuck someone else. Like, you can have those friends, but I wouldn't necessarily hang out with them tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course, Chris. Anything else I can do?
I think that's it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot.
Of course. I'm here for you. Just take care of yourself, okay? You'll get through this, I promise. Thanks for your call, Chris. I appreciate you. All right, guys. I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Let's talk to James, 58, in Idaho. Hi, James. What's going on?
Hey, first of all, I'm a first-time caller and pretty new listener. I really enjoy your show. And when you talk about conversation as lubrication, that's all about relationships. And that, to me, that's important. I've been married. My wife and I have been married for 35 years.
Yeah.
And
Great.
I'm a little more adventuresome than she is.
Okay.
But I wondered oftentimes if I'm pushing the limits to see if she's able to squirt. I think oftentimes maybe I've watched a little too much porn in the days, but is that something that every woman can do? Is that something that I should be pursuing with her?
It's a great question, because definitely with porn, this is a question that's come up a lot more, since it's been available everywhere, on our smartphones, all those things. So I never like to say that it's possible for everyone to do everything, but it can't hurt to try. And yes, a lot of women can after they try to do it. I've heard a lot of success stories. So really, you just want to make sure, that she's into it, that she's interested in trying. But some of the steps for it would be just to make sure that she's already turned on and that she's, a lot of like warming up and like foreplay. kissing. Maybe she already, has an orgasm, a clitoral orgasm or something. And then what happens is once you're already aroused, like once that blood kind of starts to circulate, your internal clitoral nerves, or the G-spot as they call it, can become more aroused, more engorged. But if you start to insert your fingers inside of her and you start to sort of, you could use your fingers, you could use your penis. I recommend if you want her to squirt, I would start with some fingers, and you kind of use 2 fingers and kind of insert them inside of her. And you kind of make that motion, like that come hither motion going towards her belly button. And then you just sort of have to stroke and caressing to hit the G-spot, and you just kind of keep, going towards the stomach. And you kind of know, do you kind of know where her G-spot is? Maybe you do after 35 years.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay,
got a good idea.
So when it starts to swell, that's where it comes from. So that's where the squirting comes from. So the ejaculation. So if you keep applying pressure on it, it might feel like she has to pee, but a lot of times she just keeps going. It is not urine. That could be a sign she's about to squirt. But I would start to experiment with your fingers and put down a towel and see how it goes.
Okay. Now, I guess what I'm wondering is that something that every woman has the potential for? Or
Well, I think that every woman has the potential, yes. I think that what I'm saying is, I'm trying to think about if I've heard from women who are like, I've been trying for months and months and months and it just never happened. I've never gotten that call. I mostly get calls from people asking me how to do it. And like I said, I don't think it's I never like to say, yes, everybody can have multiple orgasms or everybody. But what I've found is that if we really want something bad enough and we're going to put in the hours and the time sexually, you can probably make it happen. It's really just periurethral fluids from the urethral glands. It's not all, people think it's just like urine, no, but it's really just when we're already aroused and we continue to apply pressure to that area because it's right near the urethra that can help to have women expel fluids during orgasm or otherwise. And women can squirt, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they have an orgasm, but it can just feel like an intense release. But it's usually how it can happen a lot is using your fingers and like an intense in and out motion, like you're fingering her, but you're just really, really trying to find that G-spot and apply pressure. You can also do it with a toy or your penis.
I've noticed that there are times where perhaps she her legs together because it seems as though she doesn't want to release something. And I wonder if it's just because she's just overly sensitive, or the Taurus is overly sensitive.
Maybe. Is it? Does she have a lot of orgasms during?
Method of orgasm?
Her clitoris is the preferred method?
Yes.
Of orgasm? And she has orgasms, you said, but she's tightening her legs. She closes her legs up when she orgasms? Or you're saying sometimes she doesn't want to orgasm?
No, sometimes, no. When they're intense, that's what she does. She'll close her legs almost as if she needs to use the bathroom.
Well, have you ever asked her about it? And have you told her that you want to make her, that you'd love to see her squirt?
I haven't really gotten that far in that regard. Because, like I said, she's a little more reserved, but maybe that's
I know, I get it, but
suggest to her.
I think it's time. 35 years together. I would say, I want to talk about our sex life. I'd love to see it. I think this would be, let me do this to you. It could be a lot of pleasure. It could feel good. Why not start now, right? Like, why not see if she might be into it and tell her why you think it would be hot. And, she could also be a woman who a lot of times we close our legs and we kind of tense and release our pelvic floor. And that is where orgasms happen. So maybe she squeezes her leg together because that helps facilitate orgasm. But what I'm saying is if she already has an orgasm, let's say she already has a clitoral orgasm, that's great. And then what happens after that, you could continue to go inside of her then with your fingers or a penis and keep, applying pressure and see what happens then. But I would let her know that that's something that you'd like to see, that you were listening to this show and it sounds really hot. And I think it's important for all couples to explore and try something new. Now, she probably grew up at a time or in a place or in a home where it wasn't open and she didn't talk about sex. So that's why she's less adventurous, because she's been with you for 35 years. And if you haven't talked to her about sex and she grew up in a place where it wasn't okay to talk about sex, that's why she's not adventurous, right? But if she knows what else is on the menu, on the table, that it's okay to talk about sex, that it's great for your relationship, maybe she'll be open. So it's all in how you frame it, give her some information.
Yeah, she's a great woman. I love her very much, and I'm very happy that she's in my life. And
Me too.
so I really
She's
do
lucky.
appreciate the advice.
Of course. I'm
Appreciate
so glad
that.
you found the show, James. I'll be here for you. Let me know how it goes. We can talk
Thank you
about
much.
more
Appreciate
stuff.
it. Uh-huh.
All right, thanks. Bye. Bye, James. Let's talk to Angela, 41, in Ontario.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Of course. How can I help you? What's going on?
Well, my husband and I, we've been married for 3 years, and we're looking for some tips for plus-size husband and wife sexual positions, because sometimes some of the more typical ones are a little harder for us. Can you give us any tips?
I can. Tell me more about the positions that no longer work and what positions you'd like to do, or what doesn't work anymore.
So when he's on top, it's a little harder for him, and I can't straddle him because he's larger, so my legs just don't stretch that far.
Right. Okay.
So
Yeah.
those are the two typical ones that we just can't do.
Okay. Well, the first thing I would suggest is there's a lot of great standing positions that could work for this. So you could be lying on the bed and then he could be standing and you're coming off of the bed, right? Does that make sense? Yeah. So you're kind of butt is towards the end of the bed. So he can still penetrate you that way. So yeah, your legs can be spread open, or you could have one kind of scissored. You could play with different positions. So that works. There's something called a sex in a sling or a swing. It's by Sport Sheets. I'd forgotten about this, but they actually make a Sport Sheets is a company that makes the Super Sex Sling, and it actually you could also hold it, and you could be holding. It's kind of really fun. A sex sling. I should get mine out. It hangs from the ceiling, or the one that goes to the door, and then you could be elevated, and he could be picking you up, and you could just be against the door, and he could be holding you, but then he doesn't have to be holding you the whole time, so it's uncomfortable, but you still get the leverage from the door swing. I like a lot of the edging positions. You could also do doggy style with you on the bed and him off the bed, right? So you could still be on your knees, and he could be coming up from behind you. Now, if you want to be on top, you could do, I'm trying to think. Well, okay, first let me tell you about an excellent book that my very dear friend wrote, Elle Chase. It's called Curvy Girl Sex. And it's a wonderful book. It's got great illustrations that are about this, all these positions that kind of work for this. So for you being on top, I'm just trying to think of, he could be, using the couch is a really interesting way to kind of play with this stuff. If he's laying on the couch, it's doing math. I'm thinking about all these equations here. You could be how the couch can kind of give you leverage a little bit different. I love sex on the couch because there's a different leverage. You could use the sofa cushions to kind of, give you some leverage. You could also use pillows underneath you. So it can kind of elevate your knees a little bit, but you're still able to get out his penis. So there's also some sex furniture that could elevate your knees. I see that sounds like the problem is you can't get your body all around him, right?
Right.
There's no leverage. You're I can't get up. So I would try that as well.
Just don't go any further.
Exactly. So if you have something, there's something called a Liberator is a company that makes these wedges, right? And they're foam wedges. And sometimes we just need to be elevated in different positions, and it just can change a position completely. Even no matter what just to mix it up, it can kind of elevate your pelvic floor so you can experience things more deeply. So I would play with some of those things, and I do believe we have a blog on our site about this. Is that helpful?
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Let me know how it goes, Angela. I'm here for you.
Thank you, Emily.
You're so welcome.
Okay.
Have a great night. Curvy Girl Sex. I love Elle. She's a dear friend, and it really is a good book. I love the book just for me. I love the way it's written. I love the way she sort of really actually breaks down some very specific positions. I'll need to mix it up. It's true. Well, that's it for today's episode. I'll see you on Friday. And thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. Be sure to subscribe, and give us a review. And tell all your friends, your partners, your lovers about the show. If it's helped you, I promise it'll help them too. We release shows on Tuesdays and Fridays, and look out for a bonus episode every now and then. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It's all Sex with Emily. Oh, and I give really good newsletter. Sign up at sexwithemily.com. If you'd like to ask me about your sex life, your dating life, relationships, message me on Instagram or call into my SiriusXM show Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific, 8 to 10 Eastern, and you can just call me there. Save this number, 888-94-STARS or 888-947-8277, and get a free 30-day trial at sexwithemily.com/SXM. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com.